Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I'm Maryam. In today's video, I'm gonna be reviewing, revealing, testing out, swatching, applying to my face, giving you all the scoop on the new Soft Sculpt collection by Makeup by Mario. Very excited about this one. I'm so happy that I have all of the products, so I will definitely be putting them all to good use. I'm gonna be scrutinizing them and basically giving you the whole truth and nothing but the truth, Team Truth style, as always and per usual. So with that said, let's get into this video. Just wanna remind you to remember to subscribe if you aren't already. Hit that notification bell so you can see all of my Wednesdays and Sundays videos. And now let's get into this video. Makeup by Mario, Soft Sculpt collection. Here we come. Okay, so we've got a big, beautiful PR package right here, Makeup by Mario. There's 5 drawers in here containing all of the products. I'm gonna set that aside, but I'll actually show you some close-ups of me opening up each drawer just so you can feel the vibes with me. So this is officially Mario's second or third PR send out, and it's like his second or third launch. And I gotta say, I really love the presentation. I feel like puts a lot of thought, not just into the product itself, but also into the presentation of the product. I really appreciate the white, clean packaging. I love everything that I see here at first glance. At first impression, just everything is so clean and so neat, it makes me want to grab it, you know, and dirty it up. In the first tray, we have some Soft Sculpt shaping sticks. There are 6 shades in this sculpting stick. Basically, this is a cream bronzer, $28 each. This is a dual-ended product. So on the top, we have the bronzer. I'm actually gonna insert a close-up here of me rolling it out just to show you how much product is in this thing. And then also on the other side, we have a brush, and it has these 5 little nubs on it, which apparently help to blend the product out a little bit more seamlessly. Also, the cool thing about it is that it is removable, so you could easily wash it. I think this is genius. And the fact that it's so easily removable, just like with a little click and snap back into place, I love that. So that's just my first initial thoughts about the packaging. Really, really smart, really just intuitive, user-friendly, and I love it. Also, the only thing that I hate about these brushes is that how am I supposed to close this up without f***ing up the bristles? My review is not actually late, it's not tardy, it's on time. I wanted to give you a really thorough review today, so I actually joined a Zoom meeting with Mario himself. There was a few influencers, a few TikTokers, a few like reviewers, YouTubers, just a bunch of different people in the room, and he walked us through every single product. We got to ask him questions, as we usually do in these types of meetings, and so now I have a very well formulated opinion on all these products. At least I have like the knowledge, and I have it from the person who created it. So I wanted to present this review today with all of that knowledge in my pocket, you know? Next up, in the second tray, we have the Soft Pop Blush Stick. Same principle, basically. Dual-ended product with the blush on top. This is a cream blush. Again, 10.5 grams or 0.37 ounces. Same 5 nub brush on the other side. 6 colors here, $28 each again. Okay, next up we have the Soft Sculpt Bronzer tray. And we also have a brush here. So first up, let me just show you the brush. This is the F2 brush, $28, dual-ended. So this is the brush that is meant for powders. So for the bronzers and also for Mario's powder blushes. So the brush is made with the highest quality patent pending hairs that mimic the feel and finish of natural hair. All right, so now onto the powder bronzers. We have 6 shades, but I actually only have 5 in this tray. There's a shipping delay, so it says that this one will be arriving soon, which I kind of appreciated. I showed it to Lee, and he's like, that's really smart. Didn't make it in time for the PR package, but they still made it work, so I love that. So we have 6 shades altogether, 5 shades here, ranging from light to deep dark. Again, $28 each. Also, I must add that in the Zoom meeting, Mario did say that the colors of the cream products correspond to the colors of the powder products. So this light, or the Soft Sculpt shaping stick, will match the color of the light bronzing powder. If you are a deep in this, you will be a deep in this. In the next tray, we have 5 blushes, not 6, and we have a dual-ended highlighter and blush brush. So one side is for the highlighter, the other side is for the blush. This is a $28 brush again, and the powder blushes here are actually $24. So this is the only product that is $24. Everything else is $28. So comparing this size to the bronzer size, there's a big difference. So the blush is 4.4 grams, whereas the bronzer is 12 grams actually, wow. So significantly more product in the bronzer than there is in the powder blush. And the final tray, the final product in this PR package is the highlighter. This is the one that I think I am the most excited about for some reason, because I just love Mario's take on highlighters. I love what he said in the meeting, and I'm just really, really thrilled to test this out and to just try it out for myself. So in this tray we have 5 highlighters, $28 each, 4.53 grams. So the component itself is the same size as the bronzer, but there's significantly less product, as you can tell. But obviously the formulation is different because this is a powder and this is more of a cushiony type of finish. But more on that later once we get to the swatches, once we get to everything. I just wanted to show you what we're working with before we jump right into everything. So now let's get into some swatches. But before we do, I just wanted to play a little clip that I recorded from the meeting with Mario. And basically this is him talking about his inspiration for this collection. So I wanted you guys to hear it from him. Of course, I'll pop it up big right here.
And what works when you're going outside into the daylight. And so that's also what this entire collection is inspired by. It's basically taking those traditional techniques of mine, but making them work for real life. And so what that means is, you know, when you do your makeup at home, when you step outside, you want it to look not intimidating. You want it to look really natural and you know, perfect for every day, to where you're not having to worry about, oh my God, how does this look in the daylight?
So basically the inspiration behind this collection was taking his skills, taking what he's learned as a makeup artist, but bringing it to the consumer, bringing it to the everyday person so that they can feel great wearing all of these products, so that they don't look like makeup, so that they look like real life. So a lot of these products were inspired by real skin, by real light, by real life experiences. So I kind of appreciate that. You really don't want your makeup to look and feel heavy and like makeup when you step outside. I mean, that works in studio lights, that works on camera, but that does not necessarily translate to real everyday life. So I totally understand what he's saying, and I am 100% here for it. This is what I want. This is what I signed up for. Without further ado, let's get into these swatches, starting with the Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. Yes, we are going to be doing face swatches. I'm thinking 3 colors on this side, 3 colors on this side, and same thing with the cream blushes. Starting with the shade Light. That felt amazing. Really nice glide, effortless. All right, let's test out this cool brush. Beautiful, looks very natural, just a hint of bronziness. I could probably even get away with wearing something like this as blush, but essentially this would be a good bronzing or sculpting stick for someone who likes either a very minimal type of sculpting or contouring, or someone who is very fair-skinned. Looks good to me. Moving right along to the light medium. Now, if I was actually contouring, I wouldn't bring this line down all the way. I'm just doing this for the sake of the swatch so that you could really see it on this wide cheek face real estate of mine. Appreciate it. This is a really good shade for me. Probably something that I would go for every day, just for like a natural contour, a natural sculpt or bronze. Looks really, really good. I actually want to see how this looks on the forehead. Just like blend it into the hairline. I have this massive horn over here. You know how I always talk about my forehead being flawless compared to the rest of my face? Well, not today. Today I have a horn. I guess skin gods are playing a trick on me. This light medium is really good. So I noticed that the glide on these products is very, very effortless, but I wouldn't call this product balmy. I wouldn't say that it's so creamy that it feels oily. In fact, I feel like it has a set, so that's a nice feeling. I actually have to look up the ingredients. In the meeting, I asked Mario about the ingredients, and he was very honest with his answer. He said that, you know, for ingredients, his product development team is usually in charge of all that. They're the ones who know about ingredients, who speak to the lab technicians, but essentially he approaches it from his artistry standpoint. He tells the product development team and the technicians exactly what kind of a finish he wants, what kind of an effect he wants, what he wants the products to do, and then they kind of formulate it and figure it out from there. But for the sake of my video, let's look up some ingredients. All right, so cream formula, matte finish, stick formula, true to skin definition, skin-like finish. That I will have to agree with after testing out just these first 2 swatches. Popping up the ingredients right here for you guys. Do we recognize any of them? I mean, I can see why Mario's not really interested in ingredients. These are not very interesting looking. I see the dimethicone is the 3rd ingredient, so that's why it has that nice sort of glide, that silicone-y finish, but it's not the main ingredient. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Alrighty, let's move on to the rest of the swatches. swatching medium. Nice. This blends out very well, very easily, minimal effort, and the colors, I will say, are very flattering. Medium dark. Oh, it's so subtle. I feel like any shade can work for me thus far at this point. Next up, we have the shade dark. I'm gonna swatch some here. Ooh. So now this is obviously too rich for my skin tone, unless I want a really, really dramatic sculpt. But man, are these colors really right. That looks really good. It somehow is equal parts shadow and bronze, so it makes me feel sculpted, but also bronzed up at the same time. Do you agree? Final shade is Dark Deep. Let's test it on the jawline as well. Now I'm going in heavy-handedly for a reason. I really want you to see the swatch, and I want you to appreciate how easily it blends for me, and how even the deepest shade looks very, very natural, even though it's clearly not meant for my skin tone, and it's not something that I would typically reach for. But what I love is that it almost feels like this sculpting stick is foolproof. Like, you can't really be too heavy-handed with this product. I think Mario did say that in his presentation, but I just wanted to reiterate that because so many of us, millennials, you know, Gen Zs, even like young Gen Xers, have learned makeup through YouTube in like 2013 and 2015. And on-camera makeup, like I said before, is very different than real-life makeup. So what we saw on YouTube isn't necessarily what translated into real life, which is what created that whole Instagram face, that whole cake face that everyone took as real, actual makeup, like the truth. In reality, that kind of makeup only looks good in these lights, which is why I always show you guys close-ups so that you can really see what this makeup looks like up close and personal, like too personal. And of course, I'm gonna do that in this video as well. But for now, let's appreciate these swatches. Okay, moving on to the next set of swatches for the cream blush, or rather the Soft Pop blush stick. First shade, Earthy Pink. Actually gonna look up the ingredients super quick. Disosteryl malate, octododecanyl, polyglycerol 3, I'm gonna stop myself. The sixth ingredient is mica on this blush stick. This feels a little bit creamier and a bit balmier than the contour bronze stick, but it blends out quite easily and lovely. This first shade is great. Really resembles natural blush. Like if I were blushing, I would probably be blushing this shade. Next up, we have Dusty Rose. Really lovely as well. I almost can't tell the difference between these two colors though. I think this one's a pinch rosier, but they're very, very similar. Pale Petal is next. Pretty shade. But you see how it took like 3 drags to get the color on? This one definitely has a little bit more of that oily finish, but very pretty. Ooh, soft coral. You are gorgeous. Let's apply that a bit higher. To the apples. Very, very subtle, but very lovely. All right, and now for the final swatches on the face. We have the shade Raspberry. That is very lovely and very pigmented. Oh, my favorite shade. So, so stunning. Just really fresh. Very K-beauty or maybe K-pop. I don't know. I'm liking this. This is me. I'm drawn to this shade. And last but not least, we have Plumberry. This one I'm gonna attempt to blend out with my fingers. I know I've blended out every single one with a brush because, well, we have a brush with the blush, so who's gonna be using their fingers? But just in case you are one of those people who likes to use fingers, this is what it will look like if you blend it out with a finger. Not quite as seamless of a blend. Definitely will take you a lot longer to do. But in this case, you're also warming up the product and also just making it melt with your skin. Gorgeous as well. So in my tray over here, I actually have the Jaclyn Cosmetics Cream to Powder blush right here. And I have to say, the formulas of these two blushes are slightly different. Mario's are definitely a little bit sheer and a little bit more balmy, meaning that there's a bit more sheen to the actual product, whereas Jaclyn's are truer to the cream to powder finish and formulation. But I will say that the contour bronze sticks from Mario definitely remind me of the formulation of Jaclyn's Cream to Powder blushes. That similar sort of set that I really like. Okay, I'm gonna let my face rest for a little bit and I'm gonna test out the powder bronzers on the back of my arm. Starting with the shade Light. Probably barely see it on my finger, and you could probably barely see it on my arm because it's kind of like the color of my arm. Don't worry, I'll show you close-ups. Next we have Light Medium. All right, this one you can kind of see a little bit. Very, very seamless, very smooth, very light. Doesn't feel very powdery, doesn't feel like it has a lot of fallout. I like it. So this is supposed to be a buildable product with minimum kickback, which is what allows for the product to be very buildable and easily blendable as well. Next we have the shade Medium. Medium Dark, and finally Dark, because as you know, I do not have the deep dark. That is pretty damn smooth. Close-up time. So now from the close-up swatches, you could probably tell that there was a tiny hint of sparkle in each one of those swatches that I couldn't see with the naked eye. I couldn't see that in the pans, honestly. But let me see if I can actually see that if I zoom in with the phone. Next up, let's swatch the powder blushes. First, we have Mellow Mauve. Next, we have Desert Rose. Next up is Creamy Peach. Oh, this one definitely has sparkles. And by sparkles, I just mean shimmers. Next we have Poppy Pink and Wild Berry. So the powders actually feature a matte finish and a shimmer finish, just depending on the shade. And these are all talc based. Talc is the first ingredient for the powders as listed on Sephora. Second one is silica, alumina, boron nitrate, zinc stearate, mica, etc. All right, and now on to the thing that I'm the most excited about, the highlighters. Before I even swatch them, let me look up those ingredients. Pressed powder formula, shimmer finish. Talc is the main ingredient. Synthetic floor something is second, dimethicone being the third. Look, to be honest with you, I just recently started getting into ingredients, so I still don't know what every single one means. I do know some certain key ingredients, some that you guys have mentioned for me to look into, so I have, which is why I'm kind of bringing it up in this review. Let me know if you like this feature in my videos. Let me know if you want me to continue exploring down the ingredients path, and I most certainly will. All right, testing the first shade, which is Opal. Wow. And he said these weren't blinding. This looks pretty damn blinding to me and very shimmery. Lots of sparkles in this one. But of course, this is just a swatch. You will not be applying it like that. Definitely blends out with a bit more of a wet effect. Do you see that? Bit shimmery for my liking, but let me not rule it out. Next up, we have Pearl. This one looks like a pinky golden shade with a bit of a pearlescence. Not as much sparkle here, but definitely feels very, very luminous and shimmery. Next up, we have the shade Golden. This one is calling my name. Oh yeah, Honey is next. I dinged it. Sorry, honey. Damn, that is fire. So good. And last but not least, we have Bronze. So this highlighter is meant for the deeper skin tones. And this is what it looks like on my arm. All right, so now that we've swatched everything, now that we've seen the close-ups of everything, now that we know the prices, the ingredients, let's actually apply everything to my face in the way that I would actually apply it for real life, for a real life situation. Today, Lee and I are actually going to a free opera concert at the park. So I wanna look cute, so I'm gonna attempt to look cute with these Mario products. Let's go. So first and foremost, I'm just gonna give myself a quick little base. Hello, where's my primer? Dominique Cosmetics Blur and Moisture Serum Primer is what I'm gonna be using. Blending it out with my Hollywood Complexion by Charlotte Tilbury brush. For my foundation, I'm gonna be using the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation SPF 15. You already know I like this one. I've been liking it a lot. Man, I don't understand. Do my cats like sleep on my brushes? There's so much cat hair. Should I show you? I'm gonna show you. Don't judge. I'm gonna use this Fenty face brush. Give myself that quick little base. Fenty Beauty Bright Fix for the under eye. Shade 6 Melon is what I'm currently using. Just a smidge of product. God, I love this one. Gonna set with my One Size translucent setting powder. Just under the eyes. Blending fluff from I don't know where. Just setting right here under the eye and around the nose. I don't want that stuff to crease. Also in between the brows. Now, let's move on to the Soft Sculpt shaping stick. I'm gonna use the shade light medium. I feel like this is the one that I like the most for me, because I'm not really too into sculpting lately. I like bronzing, but I don't know, sculpting is a little much on someone with like my facial features. So I'm just gonna go in very lightly in the back of my cheekbone, maybe just a pinch along the jawline, like that. Just like a smidge, no more than that. Nothing on the nose. Pinch on that temple, like that. We're gonna lift all that. These little baby hairs are getting in the way of my life. Okay, okay. So far so good. I will say the blend is pretty easy and seamless, even over foundation. Notice I did not powder that part because you don't want it to get all patchy. All right, just gonna use whatever's remaining here to shade the top of the forehead. Give it a little bit more dimension like that, but not too much. This is enough for me. Just a pinch on the jaw to give it a little bit of definition. Honestly, maybe I applied too much here. Probably did not need all that much, but still, it is subtle enough. Basically, it's got enough blendability and enough emollients to really feather out and make the product look like your real skin and not like lines. I think less is definitely more when it comes to sculpting products, for me, in my opinion. For the blush stick, I definitely want to go for that raspberry shade that I really liked. I thought it was so bright and popping, and I want to pop today, you know? I just want a little bit more oomph. Again, I'm not going to apply too much, just to the apples of my cheeks, and then blend them back using the included little brush that I gotta say I really do like. It's so stunning. I wasn't too crazy about the formula at first on my bare skin, but over foundation, it's really right. I love the fact that it's not sinking into any of my pores or any of my acne scars, which I do have some here, but it's kind of bypassing them. So that's really good to know. Definitely a seamless blend with the contour stick. I mean, so far, I really like. Looks very fresh. As you saw, I didn't apply too much foundation because I want my freckles to still be seen, you know? And same thing with this product. I feel like it really highlights the best parts of your skin without like aggravating or magnifying the worst parts of your skin, like texture, like acne, like scars, like pores, you know? Moving on to the blush. Should we go with a poppy pink blush for this to be a little matchy? I think we should. I'm gonna go with this dual-ended highlighter blush brush. Pick up just a little bit of that, like a smidge. Smile. Oh yeah. And add that right on top. And also kind of bring it inwards. I love the fact that it's not looking patchy up close, because sometimes when you add a colored powder on top of a cream colored product, such as powder blush over cream blush, it can start looking a little patchy, but in this case it looks very nice. Someone on the Zoom call asked Mario if you could actually set the cream blush with the powder first and then apply the powder blush on top, and he was like, that's a very good point, you totally can. So I'm gonna do that for this side of the face just to see if there's any difference. I use my Charlotte T Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. Just set this area real quick first, I mean, which also mutes it a lot, you know, because this powder does contain a lot of pigment, and also kind of changes the color too, makes it more of a flesh tone. But anyway, and then I'm gonna go back with this poppy pink blush. This does have a mirror, by the way, but it's so small, I would never use it. You tell me, which side do you like better? The powder down one or this one? I know it shifted the color, and the color is definitely truer here, but something about this application just looks a little bit more seamless to me. Maybe it's because I haven't powdered this side down yet, but let's do that now. While we're at it, I'm just gonna powder down my forehead, powder down that big old mountain on my head. Maryam's mountain is what I'll call it. If anyone gets that, you are the real MVP. I'm liking how this is looking, and I will definitely show you a close-up. But first, let's add that light medium bronzer that corresponds with the light medium stick. I'm gonna use the F2 brush, the larger side. I'm gonna pick up a little bit. I'm gonna try to go around Maryam's mountain. Nice. Just gonna lightly add that underneath, and also just a little bit on my neck to bring everything together. I like it. I really like the bronzer. I feel like it's very buildable, very light, very perfect and appropriate for every day. I get it. And now for the moment I've been waiting for, the highlighter. I'm gonna go for the shade Golden because this is the one that was just looking so right to me. I'm gonna pick that up with the F3 brush, the smaller side. I picked up way too much. Clearly didn't need all that. I'm gonna smile the way that Mario taught me. He said that this is the way that he likes to apply blush onto his clients. He has them smile, then he observes if there are any wrinkles or if there's any crow's feet. I do have crow's feet if I like smile crazy, but obviously I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna smile a little bit. I don't see any crinklage or anything like that. So I'm gonna apply that right here on the top of this cheekbone right there. That does look very, very beautiful to me. Like wet, not super blinding, but just very current, very fresh. I absolutely love that. This brush is perfect for this highlighter. And honestly, this did not disappoint. I was waiting for this. I needed this in my life. And now that I have it, I need more of it. So for me, I'm obviously gonna try to avoid this area here where I have some acne scars. So I'm gonna try to disguise that with the blush or whatever's remaining on this brush. Basically just keeping all the luminosity here in the temple area. Apply the same amount to the other side. Brow bone, temple area. This side has some acne scars, but not in the same spot, so I can get away with just going in a little bit freer. Let's offset Maryam's mountain and apply a little bit of highlighter to this side of the forehead. Just a smidge like that. A little bit on the nose, a little bit here for a little popping action, and that's it. I'm gonna brush my hair real quick to present you with my final Soft Sculpt collection look. And now for the close-up. Ignore my vintage jacket over there, it's drying. But this is essentially the face. This is what the skin looks like. This is what the blush and the highlighter and the bronzer stick, Sculpt stick, looks like on this side. Boom. This is what it looks like on this side. The light is slightly better here, so you could really see that shine and that highlight. You could really see like that ice cream with the chocolate, the strawberry, and the vanilla. You could really see everything here, the gradient. All right, so overall, I gotta say, I'm really intrigued and very much pleased with these products. I feel like I get the backstory, I get the inspiration. I like the fact that this is made for an everyday person while also keeping the makeup artist in mind. I really enjoy Mario's perspective. I feel like it's very current and it's very updated to today's world, to what's important today, what's trending today. And I really love the fact that he's always putting skin first and natural beauty first, and I feel that in his products. From everything that I have tested out here today, you could probably tell that I was most excited about the highlighters. They definitely did not disappoint. I feel like the swatches were incredible and I just love them. I also did enjoy the sculpting sticks as well as the blushes. I feel like even though the formula of the blushes was a little balmy, a little too greasy for my liking, I was able to make them work and I feel like they applied beautifully, seamlessly, honestly. There wasn't any mistakes. Everything just looked very cohesive, very well thought out, and I am excited for it. Those are the positives. If I could criticize anything, I guess my criticism would be that I guess maybe perhaps I don't want some of these products to have talc as the main ingredient, but not everyone's gonna have that concern. Quite frankly, I still use talc products all the time. But you know, it's something that I am going to call out because it is something that matters to certain people. Shade range seems to be very fair. I feel like there's a color for everyone in each of the categories. I love that, I appreciate that. I really like the brushes. I feel like they're just very smart, very well thought out. I can't complain. I really like Mario's line. I like what he's doing. I love his perspective, where he comes from in creating these products, and I want to see more. And I am eager for there to be more. So with that said, I am going to wrap up this review. I'm going to zoom on out so that you can click on my next couple of videos and watch them. See you guys.